paramparaṁ shruti smriti purananam आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ पुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
We'll chant 5 to 7. आप मेरे
5 to हाँ जी ठीक है जी राइट.
नहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
नहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिर्जैर्गुणैः
जैर्गुणैः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा
यस्तेन्द्रियाणि मनसा यस्तेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम्
कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम्
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं
कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः
न प्रसिद्धेत कर्मणः.
Yes, thank you. So continuing from yesterday, we saw in verse 6, shlok 6, Bhagwan is pointing out that true growth, spiritual growth, inner growth, inner transformation within oneself, maturity. You can use any word. Idea is that the ambiguity, the mysticism, the false notions and ideas that one holds regarding a spiritual person gets corrected over here. A lot of us are very easy, it's natural that we have associated ideas about who is a spiritual person, what is spirituality. We have certain opinions or certain thinking around it. We may accept it or we may discard it. But what is acceptable to us is within our reason, will be a lot of it based on the external appearances or external lifestyles that we can see of what we think should be a spiritual person from whatever our knowledge is, existing knowledge is. Bhagwan here says when you start aspiring for a spiritual growth yourself, when you want gati, gati means movement, an inner movement. From where? From bondage to freedom, दुख से सुख, बंधन से स्वतंत्रता, inner, है ना? Where it's unconditional to external factors. I would feel shanti under all circumstances. An example that one can hold on to. When I want to have that gati within myself, Bhagwan says that we all will may have a very big misconception we may carry without our knowledge also, because it's easy to form judgment. It is easy to, when something is not known clearly, we only have our own external parameters to go by. We will have to hold to something. So we will hold on to whatever we see around us. So normally what upsets us, if the same thing upsets another person who's supposed to be on a spiritual path, then naturally we'll say, it's easy to say, how can they be spiritual? So we'll have our own yardsticks to measure, and they will start applying on us also. Here he says, watchful of a fact कि अगर हमको एक फैंटेसी बिल्ड होती है, एक इमेज, सेल्फ इमेज बनती है of being a spiritual person, it will be a whole lot of projection which is false. The test is to maintain that peace of mind that you have identified with. Is it because of avoiding doing what you should be doing? ना करने में जो शांति मिल रही है, A, your self check should be, is my shanti getting bhang ho rahi hai, means it's getting disturbed when I get into action. If my shanti is getting disturbed when I get into action, that is one place I can safely judge myself, or I can conclude for myself that what Bhagwan has said, the lakshana of a jnani who can take freedom from karma, I'm not in that place still. Means what? I'm repeating. If I avoid doing an action because my existing state of peace and harmony within myself will get into turmoil, will be disturbed. More important than that, so that's the first factor. More important than that is that even if I'm not getting into those actions, my mind is dwelling on sense pleasures, sense सेंस कॉन्टैक्ट्स, विषयों को लेके, सुखों को लेके मन मेरा चल रहा है, बिकॉज externally nobody can see what goes on in my mind. So I can sit peacefully, not doing anything, but in my mind I can have rasa, I can enjoy, I can have uh, I can linger mentally. What's the harm? सोच ही तो रहे हैं हम, खाली मन से तो व्यापार कर रहे हैं, हम कुछ कर थोड़ी रहे हैं, हम तो खाली सोच रहे हैं. People say that we are just thinking. We are not doing anything wrong. I'm just thinking about it, but I have not done anything incorrect, not to be done kind of a thing. That is also a second sign that you are pretending that there is spiritual progress or you are having a gati. Fact is, you need to reduce the steps or you need to come back to your stand of who you are and engage yourself in actions with a certain spirit, as we were seeing yesterday. But for all those who would feel that I am sitting quiet without doing anything, and at the same time, mentally I'm running everywhere in my mind, such a person, Shastra calls out on such a person. And it's not just the Gita. There are very many texts. In every text, you will find one odd verse which will be educating people, which will tell us where to not fall into a misbelief about oneself, not have a wrong notion of what is spirituality. And what is that? Your mental thought, where it is. Where are your thoughts is the primary condition, not where your physical actions are. If your physical actions are withheld and your mind is also dwelling on what it should dwell on, then yes, you're on the right track. If you are withheld from your duties, from your actions, but your mind is dwelling on sense pleasures, then you need certain correction still. So, such people who have a wrong idea about their own progress or about their own self, mithya, mithya, mithya means false. जो है नहीं उसको देखना, जो है नहीं वो दिख रहा है, that is mithya. Something is being seen, but it's erroneous. That acharah, acharan, is mithya, false. And it's a very big red light. It's like, batti jalti hai. It's like a caution that if there is ever a chance where anyone is likely to fall into the trap, this is a shastra, so it has to educate everybody. It's not picking up on people. Avidya mein, it is a likely pitfall. So, as Anugraha, Krishna is showing us the contrast to make it very, very clear to us what is the path, what is the mark of self growth. So what is not self growth is shown in verse 6. Mithyachari is not self growth. Avoid being a mithyachari means be true to yourself, be true to where you are, be true to your own uh, present condition, present state. Be true to that and move from there. So he said in the sixth verse, continuing a little of the Madhusudana Saraswati commentary, because certain points, as I said, get more clearer on what Bhashyam has said, Shankaracharya. He said, even if someone is to be a mithyachari, they think there's nothing wrong in it. हम कुछ मन से नहीं कर रहे, सिर्फ शरीर मतलब हम मन से सोच रहे हैं, शरीर से कुछ नहीं कर रहे. Therefore I'm okay, I'm fine. अगर कोई ऐसा करता है, तो what is going to be in the long run their course of life? They're, because they will not have had chitta shuddhi, that mithyachari will have just no benefit of having, even if he takes to renunciation, even if he takes to the extreme step of saying, okay, now I'm ready for sannyas. He believes he's ready for sannyas. He believes he's ready to give up everything. He believes he's ready to be served by the society. He believes that he should be served by the society because he's taken sannyas. ऐसे लोगों को to clarify that because you would not have had sattva shuddhi, antakarana shuddhi, therefore, uh, if you've just taken with that raga dvesha dushit antakarana, just for outsukya matrena, utsukta se, with this false belief, कर्मेन्द्रियाणि वाक्पाण्यादीनि संयम्य निग्रह्य बहिरिन्द्रियैः कर्माणि अकुर्वन् इति. Means you have controlled your karmendriyas, which are your bahirindriyas, and not doing akurvan. You remain not doing anything in that manner. Manasa, but by the mind, in the mind, rag adi prerit. Your rag adi means raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all of them. Prerit means you are still motivated by ragadvesh. In your mind, you have ragadvesh. And out of that, indriyarthan, those ragadvesh is with respect to all the sense objects. Indriyon ke arth, sense objects. So for the eyes, a form, a color, a sight. So even though you have got your hands and feet and your speech and everything controlled by yourself, sitting as if quiet in meditation, supposing it's just an example, but your mind is enjoying a beautiful sight. It could be a beautiful dish, it could anything. इंद्रियों के विषय को लेके वो स्मरण कर रहा है, बहिर इंद्रियों को पकड़ के रखा है, मगर मन से वो राग द्वेष आदि से प्रेरित शब्द आदि विषयों के बारे में, it could be words you are dwelling on, it could be flattery, it could be someone's criticism about you, anything, but your mind is on it. Tu atma tattvam. Now this is important. So where is your mind? Your mind is on शब्द आदि, sense pleasures को सोच रहा है. आत्म तत्वम स्मरण न आस्ते. You're not sitting on Atma Smaran. Man mein, your thoughts are not with reference to who am I, where are these thoughts coming from, what is the origin of the thought, where is the consciousness really tangible, contactable, or where is consciousness abiding? Where is this Atma? What is this Atma? What is Brahman? What if your mind by natural pravritti flows in that direction of thoughts, then you are right, qualified. But here he's saying, what is mithyachari doing? Important words, because sometimes what gets conveyed in the language of the commentator of our acharyas is so much more clear that the clarity they draw will be instant. So I'm going to repeat this because it's important. Karm indriyani. Even if you understand little Sanskrit, don't worry. It's enough. It's very similar to Hindi. You'll all pick up as you keep listening. Karm indriyani, all the karmas, karm indriyas. Vak, pani, adi. We saw this yesterday, all the five. Speech, feet, hands, and your organ of evacuation and your organ of procreation. संयम्य, अच्छे से संयम करके. What is the meaning of संयम्य? निग्रह्य, controlling it. निग्रह्य किसको? बहिरिंद्रिय ही, only your outer senses. That means as if I'm not looking at the, if I've gone on a hill station and I have a sunrise in front of me, but I'm not looking at the sunrise and I'm closing my eyes and I'm thinking that I am not going to enjoy the pleasures of the senses, but in my mind automatically थोड़ी देर के लिए तो रुका, but थोड़ी देर के बाद निकल गया into that food that I saw in that restaurant or into that something else. It goes on. So though vakpani adi sanyamya, you are karmani in all the forms of actions, it's plural. So in actions, akurvan, you're not doing anything. Bahir indriyon se tum kuch nahi kar rahe. That is why when you sit quiet, say even for 2 minutes in any position without moving, as Ramana would say, remain still, even if it is for a minute, 2 minutes, remain still without moving. You'll realize where the mind moves, how fast the mind goes, how restless it becomes. That he says, even if you withhold all your karmendriyas and do not do any actions, any activity, manasa, by the mind, in the mind, rag adi prerit indriyarthan shabdadin tu. Mind is dwelling on rag adi, raga dvesha, shabd, स्पर्श रूप रस गंध, इन विषयों को लेके कुछ ना कुछ मन में चलता रहता है. बिकॉज कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहता है, बिकॉज इट गोज ऑन लाइक दैट, therefore such a person is not dwelling on atma tattvam, smaran na aste. When they are sitting for those 2 minutes also, it's not atma tattvam that is in their mind. Krita sannyasah aham iti abhimanena. And they may also have an abhiman, feel proud that I have taken sannyas, therefore I am not to do any physical action. This is more commonly seen in ashrams which are full-time ashrams of which promotes sannyasa ashram as an ashram. You find few people always slipping into this, so it's a good advice for them. But in the world as grahasthas, it may not be so applicable, except for the part, the mithyachari part may still be applied. But there will be certain people who, having taken sannyas, they feel they are now eligible to not do any physical action. Krita sannyasah, I have taken sannyas. Aham, me, I have taken sannyas. Iti, in this manner, that abhimanena, because of the abhiman, karma shunyaha tishtati. I can do without doing any karma. I can sit without doing any karma. Saha, such a one, mithyacharaha. He is a mithyachari. Sattva shuddhi abhavena, because does not have sattva shuddhi, does not have antakarna shuddhi. Phala ayogyatva, phala ayogyatvat. having denied, ayogya ho gaya for the phala of chitta shuddhi. Who is this mithyachari? Papachara uchyate. Another word for it is papachar. And our acharyas who are as great as Shankaracharya and those who have commented on him, which are popular commentaries, if they use a word, they have to substantiate it with Shruti or Smriti, some quotation from there. It's not their opinion. It's not an individual commentary that they're writing on. It's an idea that they're elucidating what is going on in Parampara, that they're helping us understand. So when he uses Papachara Uchyate, he's saying in a verse which is from a Dharma Shastra that only those who has a qualification for sannyasa. He says sannyasa sthiti means karma shunya tishtati. बिना कर्म किए बैठने का अधिकार किसको है? Who has the right for it? Everybody does not have the right for their own sake. Who has earned that right? Who has sattva shuddhi? But if you don't have sattva shuddhi, then papacharaha. Why? Tvam padartha vivekaya. For the tvam padartha, tvam pada, uska arth. In the Mahavakya, tat tvam asi. Tat, that. That means the creator, Brahman. Creator is Brahman. Tvam, you are Brahman. Asi is that equation between tat and tvam. That tvam pada, which is the topic of the first 6 chapters of the Gita, this tvam pada, uska arth, uska vivek karna, to think about this tvam pad ka matlab kya hai. What I believe myself to be tvam pada means who am I? I believe myself to be an individual, a jiva who's born, who will die, who has likes and dislikes, who has ambitions, who has all wants. And also, I have my own family, I have my relations, I have my job, all these that gets attached to my, all of that. That Twampat is actually, is that the arth of Twampat? Is that the meaning of Twam? So those who want to truly arrive at the meaning of Twam, uska vivek karna chahte hain. Who am I in real? Sannyasah sarva karmanam. Sannyas in the manner of sarva karma sannyas is for them. Shrutihi, Shruti iha, vihitaha. Shruti gives it mandatory. Vihit karta hai. What is vihit? What is a good example for vihit? I'll tell you. Yeah. When you clear your civil examination, whoever clears civil examination, उनके लिए अब विहित क्या हो गया? What has become mandatory for them? Or any other profession. Say, if I clear my MBBS, what has become vihit for me? What have I become eligible for? What has become mandatory for me? Or
A doctor.
To be a doctor. It's now, vihit means you are now sanctioned. You, in front of your name, you can write DR. You're allowed. But if I am not a doctor and I write DR, then who am I? It's a good example, actually. Then who am I? If anybody gets
Mithyachari.
excellent, excellent. Then, if I have not qualified MBBS and I write DR before my name, I am a mithyachari. But if I've qualified, then vihit hai ye. You ought to write DR. If you don't write, then something's not right. You should write. Let society be know that this is a doctor over here. Shruti iha vihitaha. Shruti says sarva karma sannyas vihit hai ab tumhare liye. Yasmat tat tyagi. Because Shruti gives this permission only for Tvam Pada Artha Vivek ke liye. Whoever is not doing it, whoever has not taken sannyas for that, whoever has taken sannyas to not do that. Sentence is clear? Whoever takes to sannyas but not to do Twampad Viveka or Tatpad Viveka, Mahavakya Vichara Viveka, whoever has taken to sannyas not to dwell on Mahavakya, not to abide in Atma Vidya, that Tyagi, though he has given up all karmas, though he has taken to sannyas as an ashram, though he is allowed himself to be on bhiksha, patitaha bhavet. Patitaha means he falls. He will fall. He has fallen. Bhavet, gira hai. He's fallen. This is the importance of what is the right time for allowing oneself the freedom of giving up certain karmas in one's life. Till that time arrives, one should never give up those karmas that are mandatory. Iti ityadi dharma shastrena. This is what dharma shastra is saying. Now, if someone has got sattva shuddhi, this is only byproduct. What is the main purpose of Krishna? It is not to tell us to be a mithyachari, avoid being a mithyachari. Main purpose of Krishna is to encourage us to be walk on the direction that grows you. Have chitta shuddhi. Therefore, be a karma yogi. That is his idea. So the contrast of the two he shows in 6th and the 7th verse. जिसकी चित्त शुद्धि नहीं हुई है and they take karma yoga, who has not got enough purification and they take to karma yoga, they take to sannyas, and those who have done karma yoga have chitta shuddhi and take to sannyas. So that he is now showing in the 7th verse. So ata utpannaha nacha sanyasanat eva ashuddha antakaranam siddhim samadhigacchati. So such a person with ashuddha antakaran will not get siddhi, that patitaha bhavet. But outsukya matrena, even if it is for the sake of utsukta, sarva karmani sanyasya chitta shuddhaye. He is taken to sarva karma sanyas, has chitta shuddhi. With chitta shuddhi, how did he get? Nishkama karmani eva. Very important words. The whole method is shown. Chitta shuddhi. How? Nishkama karmani eva. Only through nishkama karma can you get chitta shuddhi. And which karmas? Yatha shastram kuryat. As the shastras mandate. Yatha shastram. As per the shastric injunctions. That shastric injunction means abide in your dharmas. Those karmas which are your dharmas that you do with a nishkam bhav, you will get chitta shuddhi. And so what will happen? Now verse 7. I'll just chant it once. He says, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhaterjuna karmendriyaih karmayogam asakta savishishyate. The word breakup is yaha tu. Yaha means whoever. That tu word, Bhashyakar and Acharyas have said that tu means indeed, but, magar. Comparing it to mithyachari, tu means the other fellow, the other person. Contrast of that mithyachari, the other one Who will that person be? Indriyani manasa niyamya. इंद्रियाणि, इंद्रियों को, मनसा, मन से, by the mind, नियम्य, controls. आरभते अर्जुना. क्या आरभते? आरभते means begins, does. O Arjuna, what begins? कर्मेंद्रियैहि. He engages his कर्मेंद्रियास. आरभते, आरंभ करता है. कर्म इंद्रियों से कर्मों को आरंभ करता है, मगर मन से इंद्रियों को खींच के रखता है. This will be explained now very well by both these commentators put together. I'll repeat this sentence first again. Contrasting it to the mithyachari, which everyone has understood, I'm presuming clearly. उसको छोड़ के हमें कहाँ लगना है? That is just a caution. We have to be careful we don't fall into that pitfall. The caution is कर्मेंद्रियैहि आरभते. Engage in your karmas. Never avoid them. But keep a control on your indriyas by your mind. मन को इंद्रियों पे लगाम रखो. We said it 2 classes before. If मन से इंद्रियों को लगाम नहीं रखा, if you have not controlled the indriyas, sense and organs by the mind, then your indriyas are strongly attracted to the objects and it will take your mind away with it. What verse was it? 67? Second chapter.
Like the chariot.
And I gave that homework and one of you gave the answer. Verse 67. Indriyanam hi charatam yan mano anuvidhiyate. इंद्रियां जब चलती हैं और मन उनके पीछे पीछे लगता है, तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञाम. उसकी प्रज्ञा, उसकी knowledge, whatever wisdom he has up to that point, harati, is robbed away. How? Like vayuhu navam iva ambhasi. Like the boat is carried away by strong winds in waters, in rivers and in oceans. Like the boat gets carried away helplessly by strong winds. So what was a strong wind here? The objects will pull the indriyas in their direction and the mind will be taken away. What is the problem with mind being taken away? Once the mind is taken away, the available buddhi becomes defunct. Whatever knowledge you have gained and acquired becomes unavailable, and the knowledge, buddhi, also goes away with the mind. So what is to be done? First and foremost, he said, always keep your indriyas under the check of the mind. And this mind is actually joined to the buddhi. Buddhi se yukt rehti hai. So mind also is following what your buddhi is advising you. Your buddhi takes the precedence. Once this mind is attached to buddhi, niyamya arabhate. कर्म इंद्रियों से कर्मों को करते रहो. That is called karmayogam. कर्म योग में लगे रहो. What is कर्म योग? असक्तः. असक्त होके, without attachment. Saha vishishyate. Who is this saha? This yaha is this saha. Whoever has managed to keep the indriyas under the check of the mind and engages in karam yoga, asakt hoke, without any attachments, he vishishyate, excels. He is compared to the previous mithyachari, He's visheshaha. He's special. He's better. He's better compared to him. So here in the Bhashyam, there is only one extra explanation that Shankara helps us with in the verse. Yahatu punaha, again, karmani adhikritaha. Who is the one who's got an adhikar in karma? Agnaha, the one who is got no knowledge, who's got avidya. Buddhi indriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna. Same, you will control your indriyas with the mind, and karmendriyahi is what is allowed to act. Arabate karmendriyahi. Kim arabate? What should you begin? Iti aha. That is the answer. Karmayogam. Asaktaha san. Remaining asaktaha. Remaining without attachment. Detached. Remaining detached. From what? What should I remain detached from? Phala abhisandhi varjitaha. That attachment, as we saw yesterday, to the fruit, detaching from that fruit and continuing to do your work. Saha vishishyate. He is better, superior, vishesh hai. He is special compared to the other fellow, Itarasmat. Itarasmat is who? Mithyacharat. Compared to him, this one who's engaged in Karam Yoga is special, is Vishesha. And in Karam Yoga also, Phala Abhisandhi Varjitaha. Abhisandhi means chipka hua. Sandhi means juda hua. Abhisandhi means chipka hua. That our mind is chipka hua with the fruits and only then feels the need for action. Such a person who has learned to detach the mind from the fruit and continue with the action, not looking at the fruit as the motive. Such a one is Visheshaha. And here Madhusudana Saraswati gives us a very important point. These are very similar. Same thing, he's just used different words, but there's something very special he says. A very new point, a very, I would say it suddenly opens up something. Between Mithyachari and Karam Yogi, Madhusudan Saraswati ji says, Parishrama Samye Api. Parishram dono kar rahe hain. The one who is a hypocrite, who is a Mithyachari, holding his organs of action is a parishram. Not doing anything is a parishram. Allows himself to dwell mentally. The opposite is who? The one who is allowing his own physical organs of action to act, but he holds the mind in its place. He holds the senses and the mind in its place. Parishram Samye Api. Both of them have similar parishram. Parishram is what? Effort. Both of them are having effort of the same nature. Similar effort. Phala Atishaya Bhaktvena. But there is a lot of difference in the fruit that they get. Atishaya Bhaktvena. It's not ordinary difference. There is a lot of difference. Bhaktvena means by Atishaya, बहुत, it's a huge margin of difference. दोनों को फल जो मिलेगा, there is a huge margin of difference between two. Who? Mithyachari and Karmayogi. Whereas both of them are putting effort of controlling. Karam na karna, we are thinking as no effort. Easy hai. But that is also effort. What is the Atishaya Bhaktvena? the Shreshtata, in that there'll be a lot of difference. What they get, the phala will be, it's not marginal difference between the two. There'll be a huge difference in this, in the returns Shreshtata of the phal between these two, which means those who are um, able to do कर्म योग, उनको फल far more मिलेगा of their effort compared to those who are not doing karma yoga and avoiding doing what they should do, or are attached to whatever they are fruits and doing कर्म normal जो करते हैं सब, that श्रेष्ठः पर will be lot of difference. Hey Arjuna, now because the verse said, hey Arjun, Krishna is telling Arjun, hey Arjuna, Ashcharyam idam pashya. Look at the Ashcharya, he says in this. There is an Ashcharya, pashya, dekho. There is a wonderment here. Yat ekaha karmendriyani nigrahan, while one of them is holding the karmendriyas, ज्ञान इंद्रियाणि व्यापारयन पुरुषार्थ शून्यः अपरः, that okay later, holding his karmendriyani back and engaging his ज्ञान इंद्रियास means मन से कुछ भी सोच रहा है, उसका पुरुषार्थ कैसा है, पुरुषार्थ शून्यः, उसका पुरुषार्थ शून्य हो गया. Is the शून्य word clear to everybody? It's negated. The entire purusharth is fallen. There is no result. कितना किया लेकिन कुछ भी नहीं मिला. That is called purushartha shunya. That is one person. I love the language which he has used here. Ashcharyam idam pashya. Look at the ashcharya. While one of them is controlling the karmendriyas and allowing his mind to dwell freely, roam freely into the world of sense objects, their purusharth is shunyaha. Aparahatu, but the other fellow, the other person, Gyan Indriyani Nigrahya. He controls his Gyan Indriyas. He controls his mind. Gyan Indriyas by the mind. Karmindriyani Vyaparayan. And he keeps his Karmindriyas doing what he's supposed to do. Param Purushartha Bhag Bhavati Iti. He gets Param Purushartha. What is Param Purushartha?
Is moksha.
Is moksha. Param Purushartha is moksha. He qualifies for moksha. And the other fellow, his Purushartha has become shunya. No result of that effort. That is why Yasmat Evam. Therefore, now he comes to the real Karma Yoga verse. Therefore, in this manner, Manasa Gyanendriyani Nikrihya. ज्ञान इंद्रियों को मन से विड्रॉ करके निग्रह्य कर्मेंद्रिय ही engage your karmendriyas as what? As now what the verse will say. Clear this verse, everybody? Very
yes, beautifully
absolutely
clear.
So amazing that, you know, to educate us. This is when people ask us, how do you keep on persevering in your own pursuit, even if you see as if there is nothing happening. The contrast is so vividly shown in the Shastra that if you give up your effort for for Karma Yoga, then you fall into the realm of karma, or you fall into the realm of mithyachar, abstaining from what you should do, both of them, purushartha shunya, will take you nowhere. While you are putting effort, मेहनत करते हुए भी कुछ नहीं मिलता, हाथ कुछ नहीं आता, despite a lot of mehnat. So, without going any further, so what would any wise person think? Whoever is listening, what that comes to the mind? Therefore, what would I want to do? एकदम तत्परता, एकदम उत्सुकता किस चीज के लिए हो जाती है?
So might as well do it properly.
Might as well do it properly. Suddenly your mind wakes up as if somebody just triggered something, matches लगा के एकदम से जला दिया. Suddenly you get excited and suddenly your mind is like, oh, I might as well put in the effort at the right place, because by the other effort it is becoming effort shunya. I might as well put the effort where I need to put, even if I don't see a result the way I think a result should come. As long as I'm following what the Shastra is saying, and I'm anyway have to drop the result in the hands of the giver of the result, the enabler of the result. Anyway, I have to leave the result in their hand, in his hand, Ishwara's hand. So I might as well do what is to be done. And exactly what is to be done is said here. Niyatam kuru karma tvam कर्मजायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः. Therefore, O Arjun, niyatam kuru karmatvam. This is the advice. Tvam means you. Karma kuru. Keep doing your karam. Which karam? Niyatam karam. Which is your niyat karam. Niyat karam means nitya karam. Nitya naimittika karam. Nitya naimittika karam from Shastra Drishti is ashram based, but from Paropkaraya, Smriti based, all those karmas. What have to be done? Your own duties, by your roles of life. Keep doing those karmas. Simple reason why. Karma jayah hi akarmanaha. Akaram se, he is indeed. Akaram se, karma jayah is superior. Karam karna is superior than kuch nahi karna. Kuch na karne se kuch karna is superior. That is common sense, isn't it? Better to do something than not to do anything. Yeah? So, keeping in mind that you anyway should be, it's better to do karmas than not doing anything. Then he gives another subset reason. For, he says, that is like another strike, maachis ek aur laga di. He said, if you slip into a karma for long, not like just once in a month or once a while, no. If you slip into a karma, sharira yatrapi chate na prasiddhi, na prasidhyet. Even your sharira yatra will not be accomplished. Prasiddhayet. That siddhi nahi aayegi sharir yatra ki bhi. Even your sharir yatra will not have accomplishment. There are two levels at which this meaning has been unfolded. Normal meaning is sharir yatra means from one birth to death. Just that much. Sharira sthitihi. Shankara uses one meaning first. Sharira sthiti. To maintain your sharir also, to maintain your life also, you need to act. You need to do some action. So even we all know there are so many beautiful statistics, and this present society has become so alert about the need for exercising. That you have to exercise, that you have to walk for so long in a day, minimum walking is needed, minimum. So there is this, even that is a karma, that you have to even exercise your body is a minimum karma for the sharira sthiti, that the sharir should not get debilitated. Have you ever tried? Some people must have known this as a direct experience. If you exercise once a week, twice a week, or your own ratio, and then you give up exercising for a little while, few months, for whatever reason, what happens to the body? What are the changes that come in the body?
It becomes loose.
lethargic हो जाती है body.
Lethargic हो जाती है. And what happens to the muscles?
Loose. They become loose.
They become loose. Which means what? इसमें तो हमें शास्त्र विद्या की जरूरत नहीं है ना. We don't need so much of shastra gyan. This is laukik gyan. That even for sharira sthiti, you need action. कर्म करते रहना पड़ता है, उठते रहना पड़ता है. You can't sit. There are studies for sedentary people. The studies have shown, and MNCs have introduced it. I do not know the latest, but I know about a few years ago. Every few hours, they were given a little exercise program on their seat. They were to get up. And I saw a beautiful post on LinkedIn. Very nice. I found it very interesting. There is a company which, a lot of debate, of course, on it, as everything on everybody has an opinion of the other side on social media today. But that post was that if your working hours are from 9 to 5, then the minute it is 5 or 6 or whatever, the computer shuts, the company computer gets a message on top, and it says, your time is up, get up and go home. Which means what? In between, some companies, every few hours, they made their employees get up and exercise, jogging on the spot, stretching on the desk. Then they taught them sitting stretches. While you're sitting, you take a break every 2 hours. You are supposed to take a break, and 5 minutes you are supposed to exercise your body. We all understand this. Why? Simple. Sharira yatra means what? This is such a beautiful word. Yatra hai ye sharir ke andar. Now I'm coming to the second meaning. The first meaning is sharira sthiti. Even for the maintenance of the body, you need karma. But the other meaning is yatra means what? In Hindi, what is yatra? And what is its English translation?
Journey.
One is journey, other is? Traveling, okay. Trip, okay. I'm sure one of you will get it. Ji?
Evolution of the body.
What of the body?
Evolution.
Okay. Evolution of the body, that's right. What else? Search, journey, okay. What else? What is yatra?
Give us more clue.
Give us more clue. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Expedition, okay. Good. Moving from one station to another, movements, journey, transformation, okay. It was more relevant in a pilgrimage. Pilgrimage.
Okay.
Yeah, the clue I was
yatra.
going to give is our grandparents' time. You would have
Always.
heard it. They did
Yes.
this. Yatra pe gaye hain.
Very
Char
true,
Dham
very true.
Yatra. What is a yatra? It's a pilgrimage. Sharira Yatra. That this body from birth to death is actually a pilgrimage. इस शरीर की स्थिति किसके लिए रखी है आपने? For what is this sharira sthiti for? It's a pilgrimage from birth to death. So he says, for your higher growth, and now rest of the meanings will all fall into place. For your growth, this Sharira Yatra will not be complete. You will not get Siddhi. You will not accomplish your spiritual journey. Your pilgrimage will not be complete if you do not, if you sit in akarmanaha, akaranat, because of not doing anything. The journey will not have siddhi. Prasiddhihi na gachet. You will not reach your destination. It's like saying, I took okay, in summer vacation, I want to go to, if not Char Dham, at least two Dham. I want to go Gangotri and Badrinath or Yamunotri, whichever, I want to do these two. I made a plan, but I am not starting. I am just not starting. If I don't start, akarmani, I'm not booking tickets, I'm not bothering to find out anything, but I want to reach there. Akaranat, you are not going to reach there. You have a noble desire, you have a noble wish, you have a noble thought. It'll be good if you go, but somehow I've just not started. So, prasiddhayet, your journey will not be completed. Your pilgrimage will not be complete in this body. So, whatever is the Sharira Sthiti also needs karma. And for Sharira Yatra to complete the journey, you need to do karma, you need to do karam yoga. So, you will find the connection. He will say, this is also very nice. He says here, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Niyatam Karam Kuru. So far, the verse is clear, everybody? Without any doubts?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So he says, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Niyatam Karma Kuru. Do your karma. Why? Madhusudana Saraswati gives the reason. Tvam, you, prak, ananushtita, shuddhi hetu karma. Very interesting. Because you, prak, before when? What would it mean before? Okay, let me complete this, then you'll understand. Ananushtita, you have not abided in, you have not done. Shuddhi hetu karma. Those karmas that would cause shuddhi, ananushtita, you have not done them before. What does before mean?
In your previous birth?
Good. Either in this birth before or in your previous birth. Ananushtita. You have never done chitta shuddhi ke liye karam. Because prak anushtita ashuddhi he, anushtita shuddhi hetu karma. Those karmas that would have become the reason for your antakarana shuddhi, prak anushtita, ananushtita, you have not done them before. Tvam, therefore, you, niyatam. And what is niyatam? Vidhi. Vidhi karma. Do this. This is, you should be doing your karma. Do this. So, those karmas, and they are also called uddeshe. Uddeshe means upadeshe, which have been told to be done. Those karmas, you should do them. How? Phala sambandha shunyataya. Without any phala sambandh. In yesterday's example, you go on watering the plant, even if you're not getting the fruit for yourself. phala sambandha shunyataya niyata nimittattena vihitam karma. All your niyata karmas means nitya karmas, nimitta karmas, they are your vihita karmas, to be done karmas. Do those karmas. Madhusudana Saraswati here clarifies the karma term itself. Shrautam smartam cha. Your shruti karmas like Agnihotra Adi if you are married, and smarta karmas like Parokkaraya, those for the sake of others. Do those karmas. In fact, he gives an example somewhere of these two also. Here in the meaning, in the explanation. I'll come back. I'll very clearly he stated, like Agnihotradi, Juhyat, if you want Swargam, Kamya Karmo ko chhod ke, what is to be done without phala sambandha, that those karmas are niyata karmas, nitya karmas. These are your iti prasiddham kuru. Therefore, do them. Then this technical term, kuru word, grammatically, why has he used with tvam? Same meaning. So now the same. Those 2 points that I just explained, Sharira Yatra, even the maintenance of the body and also the completion of the life journey, life purpose, both you will not get. This he explains here a lot better. Na kevalam karma abhave tu antakarana shuddhi eva na siddhyate. Means because you're not doing karmayoga, you will not get antakarana shuddhi, and this we have now seen so much in detail. Kintu, but also akarmanaha, not doing what yuddha adi karma rahitasya. For Arjun, what was his karma? Fight a righteous war. Yuddha adi karma rahit, not doing what you are supposed to do according to your swadharam, by your nature. Te tava, your sharira yatra, sharira sthiti api na prakarshena. It will not be, you will not be able to have even your life sustained. Na prakarshena kshatra vritti kritatva lakshanena siddhet. Whatever your kshatriya dharmas are, if you don't even perform them, you will not get sharira yatra at all. Okay. Now again, now he says in the 9th verse, just starting the 9th verse, and we'll end here because these two verses, 9th and 10th, will have to go together. He says, if you think, whoever thinks, because all of us have said, when we are acting, कर्म करने से बंधन होता है. कर्म बंधन का भी कारण है. So if you think, if I am losing my peace of mind, if I get into action, therefore I will not do action. That बंधन का कारण होने के कारण, if I think, कर्मों में तो बंधन है. यच्च मन्यसे, मन्यसे means if you think, बंध अर्थत्वात्, because कर्म बंध अर्थत्वात्, कर्म बंधन का कारण है. न कर्तव्यम अपि इति, I will not do what is to, it's not my karma, I will not do what is to be done because कर्म बंधन का कारण है. That is asat, that is wrong. How? That gets explained in the next verse. And this bandhana, karma bandhana, Madhusudan says, karmana badhyate jantuhu iti smritehe. forgot. There's a big sentence on this. I'll bring the quotation next. There's a full verse over here. Karmana badhyate jantuhu. The Smriti quotation says that by karmas, I remember, it is in the Sannyasa Upanishad. Here, this verse has actually taken, a small part is taken from an Upanishad called Sannyasa Upanishad. Karmana badhyate jantuhu, vidyaya cha vimuchyate. So those who want to give up the action prematurely, what do they think? They think karmas bind people. Karmana, by the action. Badhyate jantuhu, people. Jantu, beings. Badhyate, बंध जाते हैं. Cha, and. Vidyaya, vidya से. Vimuchyate, what is vimuchyate? Vimuchyate, free. Freedom. Vimukt, मुक्त हो जाते हैं. विमुच्यते means break the bondage. विद्या से विमुच्यते, विद्या से मुक्त हो जाते हैं. Exactly the topic that's under consideration. What is Arjuna's question? When knowledge gives me freedom, why are you pushing me into this घोर कर्मा? मुझे कर्मों के साथ क्यों बांध रहे हो? हे कृष्णा, मैं तो आपका खास है ना शिष्य हूं. मुझे कर्म देने का उपदेश क्यों दे रहे हो? जब ज्ञान से मुक्ति मिल रही है तो. तस्मात् अकर्म न कुर्वन्ति. Therefore, I do not want to do actions. Yatayaha paradarshinaha. Those who see the limitation of action, of karmas, will say that since karmas bind us, let us not do the karmas. I don't want to do any karma. Therefore, that is the smriti that was being quoted here. Sarvam karma bandha atmakatvat. In this manner, all the karmas are of the nature of binding you. Mumukshuna, but the one who desires freedom, mumukshu, one who has ichcha, moktum ichcha, mukti ichcha, the one who has the desire for freedom, na kartavyam iti matva tasya uttaram aha. अगर ऐसा कोई सोचता है कि कर्मों में मेरा कोई कर्तव्य नहीं है, उसका उत्तर भगवान दे रहे हैं in the next verse. And what is the next verse? A very tricky verse, beautiful verse, but the concept of that's elucidating now in 9th onwards, continuing up to 16th verse. From 9th to 16th will be now one topic. So 8th is almost once again a pratigya. Therefore, do nitya karma, O Arjun, for the simple reason, doing karma is better than not doing karma. Because by doing karma from a normal standpoint, regular standpoint, you will get शरीर यात्रा. आपकी शरीर को चलाने के लिए भी साधन है, कर्म ही साधन है. एंड इम्पॉर्टेंटली, कर्म से जब आप कर्म योग करने की एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, जब कर्म कर रहे हो. अगर कर्म नहीं कर रहे तो व्हाट विल यू हैव टू कम टू फर्स्ट? कर्म करने में यू विल हैव टू कम टू फर्स्ट. But because by default all of us have been akarmani, you cannot sit for a moment. Prakritir jai gunaihi. By our own prakriti we have been acting. Therefore, continue the action, but now do karam yoga. And that he says, therefore, yajnarthat karmanaha anyatra lokah ayam karma bandhanaha. He says the whole world. Okay, let me just read the verse once. We'll just start and then we'll stop. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर. He says, very importantly built up now. No doubt karmas bind. I'll give the essence first. कर्म में बंधन जरूर है. That's why we said it's a double-edged sword. It binds you to the फल भोगने की स्थिति. So karmas, no doubt they bind. But yajnarthat karmanaha, those karmas that are done for the sake of yajna, yajna के लिए जो कर्म किए गए हैं, other than those karmas, anyatra, other than the karmas that are done as yajna, for the sake of yajna, those other karmas, lokah ayam karma bandhanaha, they are the cause of karma bandhan. So what is not the cause of karma bandhan? किससे कर्म बंधन नहीं होगा? I'll repeat the sentence.
यज्ञ कर्म.
हाँ, excellent.
कर्मयोग से.
Yajna karma. Here specific word first, which is karmayoga, correct. But yajna के कर्म जो यज्ञ से किए हैं, यज्ञ कर्म से किए हुए कर्मों के अलावा बाकी सब कर्म बांधते हैं. What a sentence. You are bound by all karmas other than those that have been done for the sake of yajna. We'll go into details what is yajna in every manner possible. And this yajna word is going to get elaborated in the 4th chapter. So a lot more details will come later. Tadartham karma kaunteya. O Kunti Putra. Very beautiful, endearing. Very rarely Krishna gives him a very endearing call, name. Kaunteya means Kunti's son. Kunti and Krishna were related. How?
वो बुआ थी.
वो बुआ थी
कृष्ण
उनकी.
की.
जी, कृष्ण की बुआ थी. तो कृष्ण उसको काउंतेय बोल के उनको याद करा रहे हैं. I will not give you any wrong knowledge because Arjuna has said, why you like confusing me? मैं तो आपका शिष्य बना हूँ. You've told me to do karma. घोर कर्म, मुझे क्यों ये ऐसा एडवाइस दे रहे हो? So Kaunteya, our acharyas would comment, these great acharyas have commented, he's calling him Kaunteya because he's reminding him that you and I are also related. Why will I give you a wrong advice? O Kaunteya, tat artham karma, do karma for that sake. For which sake now?
For mukta sangha.
Okay, before that.
For yajna.
For yajna. Yajna arthat karmanaha. Tat artham karma. For the sake of yajna. Karam. Do karma. Again how? Mukta sangaha. Without attachment. Samachara. Maintaining your samabuddhi. Yajnarthat. Correct. For the sake of yajna. Maintaining your samabuddhi. Samachara. Be engaged in it. Mukta sangaha sam acharaha. Not just equanimity, some acharaha. You keep engaged in action for the sake of yajna. And what is yajna? He says, Yagnyo vai Vishnuhu. Iti Shrutehe. We'll do details next class. Iti Shrutehe. In the Shruti, which is Taittiriya Samhita, Taittiriya Upanishad says it, one of the names of Vishnu is Yajna. It's a yes, which is what Bhagwan himself does. He will say that later. One of the names of Vishnu is also Yajna. So if you replace the word Yajna, Krishna is himself, obviously Vishnu incarnate. So one of the names is of Vishnu is Yajna. In the Vishnu Sahasranama also it comes. One of the names is Yajna. Tat artham, for the sake of Yajna. If you replace the word Yajna with Vishnu, what will happen?
Ishwar Arpan, it falls so beautifully.
Very good. Excellent. Iti Shrutehe. Shruti is also, Shruti is giving you the name. It's not someone's manokalpitam. Shruti has said, Tadartham, Yagnyo vai Vishnuhu. Iti Shrute. Yajnaha is Ishwaraha. Tat artham, for the sake of Ishwar. Yat kriyate, whatever is done. Yat kriyate, jo bhi karte ho. And this is where you can say any karma can be converted into karmayoga. Because any karma can be done for the sake of Ishvara. As an offering to Ishvara. Tat yat kriyate, tat yajnartham karma. That karma is called yajna. And that karma is yajna ka arth. Means it is for the sake of yajna. Those karmas are yajnartham. And yajnartha karma ka phal kya hai?
It's moksha.
It's moksha.
Chitta shuddhi and then...
Correct. Chitta shuddhi and then moksha. So for the sake of yajna, tad artham karma, O Kaunteya, yes. Mukta sangaha samachara. Engage in your karma फल प्राप्ति से डिटैच होके, असंग होके, do your karma for my sake, for Ishvara's sake. And that is what is Madhusudan ji is also going to bring us some very beautiful points in this verse. And one simple word, अगर कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आता, यज्ञः is equal to परमेश्वरः. ईश्वरः, परमेश्वरः. इति श्रुतेः तत् आराधनार्थम, as a worship. Yat kriyate karma, whichever karma is done. Tat yajnartham, tasmat karmanaha anyatra karmani pravrittaha ayam lokaha. This lokaha, in this world, is bound, pravrittaha, by all karmas other than yajna. The karmas that are performed, those karmas bind you. Karma adhikari, karma bandhanaha, karmana badhyate. Those other karmas will bind you to this world in pravritti. So, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Samsara remains. Only one that will break the cycle of samsara is for the sake of yajnartham. Therefore, natu Ishwar aradhanarthena. So, anyatra karmani pravrittaha ayam lokaha. By all other karmas, this world is pravrit. Why do you see a gati in this world? Why do you see constant change in the world because you're bound to the result that you have to go through, for which you take an embodiment, and that is what is keeping your cycle continuous. That cycle breaks, means this cycle is not continued when karmas are done Ishwar Aradhanarthena, as Ishwar Arpanam, as Ishwara offering. Ataha tat artham yajnartham karma, for the sake of yajna, he Kaunteya, O Kaunteya, tvam karmani adhikritaha, you are qualified for karma. Mukta sangaha, Mukta sangaha son, remaining freed of attachments, samachara, engage in karma. And Madhusudana Saraswati gives a beautiful, deeper or extended meaning. How do you understand samachara? He says samyak shraddha adi puraha. Samyak means complete. Shraddha adi. Shraddha adi means what? What? Adi pad means etc. Shraddha etc. Keeping that shraddha etc. Filling yourself with shraddha in Shastra, Guru Upadesha, engaging yourself, doing karmas in which your adhikar is there. I gave you the example. If I am not born of a Kshatriya nature of gunas, it is not my adhikar to fight the war on the border. I don't have an adhikar there. Means even if I go, I will not be successful because it's not my swadharma. सो तुम्हारा कर्म में जो अधिकार है, जिन कर्मों में तुम्हारा अधिकार है, तुम्हारे गुणों से, तुम्हारी सोच से, by what you are inclined for, whichever karmas you are designed, which come through you very naturally, in those karmas is your अधिकार. कर्म योग उसमें होता है. Clear? 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 Is it clear?
Yes, please.
Yes, Dipti ji.
There was silence, so I thought.
No, it was a beautiful class, really.
Yeah. Shastra Dhyanam is so enriching. The gains are, you can't count them. There is so much gain of this Adhyanam. It will be imperceptible to us mostly, but it's a huge gain. Missing these is missing a lot, missing everything in life. But as pravritti is, yaha pashyati, saha pashyati. Each one has to discover their own. So we'll end the class here. I mean, there cannot be more direct knowledge possible, I think, on this planet, which is directly dealing with your spiritual growth, inner growth. And what is that inner growth? From bondage to freedom is inner growth. Asatoma
Satgamya.
Sadgamya.
Age. From darkness to light.
Tamsoma Jyotirgamya.
Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma
Amritam Gamaya. This is Sharira Yatra. From darkness to light, from bondage to freedom, from birth to immortality. और उसका रास्ता ये दिखाया. And nothing can be more clearer than this. Ji, can you please complete?
Om Sat. This Sat पहले स्वस्ति, अच्छा स्वस्ति ओम श्रीभ्यः सर्वेषां ओम सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः पालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः
धन्यवाद दीप्ति जी.
Recording has stopped.
Dhanyavad everyone.
Deepti, thank you very much.
Thank you everyone.
दीप्ति जी प्रणाम.
Pranam.
The broadcast of Facebook Live has stopped.
Thank you everyone. God bless. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, दीप्ति जी.